Greetings, Bat Family. Welcome back to Holy BatCast, brought to you by Real Fans for Real Movies. You can visit our website, holybatcast.com, or find us all over social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast. You will find us. If you love the show, you want to help support the show, you can do that on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/holybatcast. As always, a huge thank you to our patrons. You guys are amazing. You don't have to do it, but it means the world to us that you do. So just a big old thank you to you guys. You're amazing. So yeah, that's on Patreon if you want to do it. If you don't, it's okay. Still love you. We're part of the Real Fans Podcast Network. You can check out those shows at rf4rm.com. And as always, I am your Bat host, Andy DiGenova. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, or Letterboxd. It's just my name, Andy DiGenova. Now, this episode, we are looking at San Diego Comic-Con 2022. It snuck right up on us, and Comic-Con is back. The real thing. Like the old days. And we're going to talk about the DC news that was shared over the past couple of days down there in San Diego. It's probably the first Comic-Con that I have missed in years, and that makes me sad. But what are you going to do? Such is life. So we're going to talk about all that good stuff. We are going to catch up on the mailbox. So joining me for all that fun, it's my Bat brother from down under. It's Brendan Lowe. Hey, Brendan.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, you didn't stay up in the middle of the night this time, did you?
No, I didn't. Nothing against the information or trailers that were released. I just didn't feel the need to get up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning like I have for past San Diego Comic Cons. But, you know, I'm sure as hell we'll be doing it when Fandom hits later this year.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably the way to go. And also, like, we knew that this Comic-Con was not going to be very Batman heavy.
No.
I mean, there's always a little Batman sprinkled throughout, but this was not a big Batman Comic-Con.
No, not at all. I mean, it's one of those things like, you know, Warner Brothers DC only had a small presence. So yeah, it wasn't worth getting up at 2 or 3 in the morning for, but bring on, I just think it's October for Fandom again, so I'm all up for that.
Yeah, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but it does feel like they gave us enough at Comic-Con, but also held back enough for Fandom.
For sure, yeah.
Don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad you had a nice, cozy evening in bed and slept and woke up and caught up.
You say that, but there was a few wake-ups in the middle of the night.
Rotten kids?
Well, crying and, screaming and needing to change the pants, and that was just me.
Oh, obviously. Are you having the night terrors again?
Yeah.
I know, it's real rough. I'm sorry. I'd tuck you back in if I could, but Jess is going to have to do it for me.
Yeah.
I'll send her a message.
I dreamt that Henry Cavill didn't appear at Comic-Con.
Oh.
And it was
we're already? We're doing this already? You woke up in a cold sweat being like, he didn't show up?
Yeah, right.
The unfounded rumors were unfounded? Who would have guessed? Who could have seen that coming?
We'll get to it.
Oh, we shall. Okay, well, I'm glad you're here. Jamie is not here. Jamie started a new job. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but oh well, I did. He started a new job, and he's just getting back into the swing of things and getting that figured out and family and everything. So he's sitting out this week as well. He'll be back before you know it, though. It has nothing to do with him not wanting to be here. He's just got to get into his new routine and figure it out. And
once again, scheduling.
We come after his family and his job, which I don't know if I agree with that, but we'll forgive him because we love the big lug.
Some people just need to get their priorities sorted out.
Get your priorities straight. The first thing is the podcast you do for free. That's number one. Okay. Then it's yourself. Then it's your family. Then job last.
This week, I wouldn't be surprised if he's watching something like Fried Green Tomatoes or something.
Check the Real Fans group. What did he check into?
I don't know.
Look. Jamie's watching Now and Then. But anyway,
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Oh, obviously, both of them. Isn't there a sequel?
Yeah, there was.
Oh, good. I'm glad that Jamie's ovulating, and so he's got to watch these movies. He's got the heating pad on his ovaries because he's got cramps, and he's watching Fried Green Tomatoes while Kimbra rubs his feet.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds right.
And I'm hot water bottle free this week, by the way.
Okay. Oh my god. When Joe tweeted out that picture was the best thing I've ever seen. Joe, if you're listening, I'm still laughing at it. It's amazing. It's the perfect thing.
I regret nothing. I was nice and comfortable, so sue me.
Well, great. I'm glad. I'm so glad. You and Jamie should like go on a Thelma and Louise trip together, I think. You can talk about menopause and hot water bottles and what a treasure Jessica Tandy was.
Oh, good lord. Sorry.
Anyway, we got a lot to talk about. Before we got to talk about Manscaped, manscaped.com, who are nice enough to sponsor the show. So a big thank you to them. Manscaped, we love you, and we don't love you just because you support us, but you've got great products. And so if you folks are out there listening, you want to do a little shopping, go to manscaped.com, peruse their products. But whatever you do, make sure you do use the promo code BATSCAPED, BATSCAPED. Batscaped gives you 20% off and free shipping because it's summertime. It's officially summertime, and everybody talks about looking good for the warmer months, but few have the balls to do it. It's time to nut up or shut up and take the easiest step to looking sexy this summer by using Manscaped. Manscaped's ultra smooth package makes sure that you have the proper care for down there. And the Boxers 2.0 gives you the perfect stage to show off the new look. These products may make you look hot, but your cleanly shaved neithers will keep you cool. And the Boxers 2.0 patented jewel pouch technology will keep your boys from turning any beach day into a swamp day. Dive headfirst into summer by joining the 5 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com and using that promo code BATSCAPED. So embrace the summer. We're still smack dab in the middle of it. It's hot out there unless you live in Australia. So yeah, check out the Manscaped products. Buy yourself something nice, but use that BATSCAPED code. Get 20% off and free shipping. And as I've said in the past, even if something's on sale on the site, still use BATSCAPED. You get the extra 20% off and you can't beat it. I've started to see Manscaped pop up at like Target and Walmart and stuff, which is great for them. But guys, if you're going to buy it from Target, I'm no offense, I love Target. I was there this afternoon, but buy it directly from the source. Go directly to Manscaped because that way you get the 20% off by using the promo code BATSCAPED and you're supporting the show in the meantime. So please do get that Manscaped products. It's good stuff.
Agreed.
All
I was
right.
actually only saying to Jess 2 or 3 days ago, next time they have a sale on, I'm going to, obviously whack in Batscaped as well. And we're looking at potentially getting some Manscaped gifts for some friends for Christmas this year.
Honestly, it's a great gift.
Because we're, I know it's only July, but we're at that point where sort of this year we want to try and spread the cost out a bit. Mm-hmm. So we're starting to do a little bit of Christmas shopping early.
Look at you.
In saying that, I actually found something for you yesterday.
Oh, is it Manscaped?
Well, that and something else, obviously.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
But you can never have too much.
This is true.
But but definitely take advantage of the promo code because it is worth it.
Awesome. Cool.
You know what else is worth it? Your balls.
They are worth it. You know what? They are there to be of service. The least you can do is take good care of them. Those balls gave me a beautiful daughter. Mm-hmm. And gave you a beautiful son. So thank you, balls.
Thank you.
I'm going to take this moment. It's a ball appreciation moment here on the show. Let's all take a moment and thank our balls for all the hard work they do. And thank them with a little bit of moisturizer, a little bit of toner, a little bit of deodorant. They're worth it, and so are you. Okay, anyway. You ready? Let's move forward.
Sure am.
All right. We got lots to talk about. Before we get to all the Comic-Con stuff, though, it is worth a mention. Damn it, Brendan. Damn it, we've lost another one.
Yeah, what is it with comic creators this year? My God.
It is. This is not the year. Oh my God. I said it. I think I said it the last time we lost someone, and somebody's got to go wrap whoever's left in bubble wrap. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, wrap that guy up because these legends just keep passing away, and I don't like it. Unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Batman writer Alan Grant, considered one of the best writers in the 90s with his collaboration with Norm Brayfogle. Truly a legend. He did so much work on Batman, Shadow of the Bat. He co-created Anarchy, Victor Zsasz, Jeremiah Arkham. He was such an influential voice in Batman comics. and unfortunately he passed away. He also was famous for doing the Batman Judge Dredd crossover, the Batman Daredevil crossover, and Superman versus Terminator. So
Oh, I didn't know he did the Daredevil one. I've got that.
yeah. So it's, I mean, God, it's such a shame. But he was 73 years old, leaves behind a wonderful body of work. When I go back and read my comics, I mean, honestly, I mean, that is my prime time of Batman comics, truly in the mid 90s, because that's when I
Mm,
was just so obsessed. And so many of those books are Alan Grant books. So it's the era that I revisit the most often because it's the era where I fell in love with comics, and he was one of the main voices of Batman at the time. So, uh, you know, I thank him wherever he is for the amount of work he did in our favorite character. But it's just, as always, a shame to say goodbye.
yeah, very sad. Man, the big guy upstairs is starting to get himself a hell of a creative team up there.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Maybe he's opening his own secret stash.
Hope so.
Yeah, Jehovah and Sons secret stash. But anyway, yeah. All joking aside, Alan Grant, another legend, and unfortunately, another legend that we have to say goodbye to. But much like these others that we've had to say goodbye to this past year, he leaves behind an amazing amount of work. He leaves behind an amazing reputation and name, and that is all we can ever hope for. So he will always be forever part of Batman's legacy, and Batman's living forever, and so will Alan Grant.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move forward. Talk about San Diego Comic-Con. We got some news. I'm going to try to stick to the DC stuff for the most part because it's a Batman show.
Right.
Although, real quick before I get to the DC stuff, I can tell you how excited I am about the X-Men '97 cartoon. So excited. They showed the first images and stuff, but I have to wait a whole year for it to come out. It doesn't come out till next fall.
I mean, I saw a couple of one or two of the images, and I'm like, it looks just like the cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does. It haven't missed a beat. So I'm actually really psyched about that.
Yeah,
But
I
unfor-
didn't really watch that as a kid. I watched some of them, like the random DVDs and stuff they released when like X-Men 1 and 2 came out and was really big.
Mhm.
But yeah, I didn't grow up watching it. I was aware of it. It was just, I was Batman the Animated Series, and that was it. Like, it was pretty much all I watched back then. So, I might check it out because I'm assuming it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it is.
I might check it out when it drops, but a lot of it will probably be lost on me.
Well, that's okay. Watch the original. It's on Disney Plus too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get to DC. The first one is a little bit of comic book news. We knew this was coming, but we finally got some more concrete information. And this is the tie in to the Batman, the film. This is the Riddler Year One. So this comic is being written by Paul Dano. It's a 6-issue bi-monthly Black Label series illustrated by Steven Subic, and it comes out in October. So we've gotten the cover, got some artwork for it, and the official announcement of when to expect it. The Riddler Year One. So I do feel like they announced this a while back, and then now we just know when it's coming, and October is going to be here before we know it.
For sure. Which I know you're looking forward to, obviously.
Well, aside from going to Target this afternoon, Catherine and I also went to Home Goods and perused their Halloween decor, which is already out.
Okay.
And then we spent all afternoon planning for the house's Halloween decorations. So,
Nice.
yeah. So, yeah, how you feeling about the Riddler Year One?
I mean, the same as I was when it was announced, which is like, okay, like, I'll read it. I don't know if I might not wait for DC Universe. I might have to, pony up the dough and buy it. It's just that Comixology, since they've changed their formats, just shit. So yeah, it's one of those things.
It drives me nuts that they do that. Like, it worked. It
It
wasn't
worked
broken.
perfectly.
Why did you change it? I mean, I still use it to read my comics. It's fine, but it's just a little more cumbersome and harder to navigate. Why
Yeah,
would
it's
you
harder
make
to
it work?
find stuff.
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
But yeah, I
But
mean, look, if we're going to cover it on the show, for example, like I'll definitely read it as it drops. But if we're not planning on doing that, I might wait. If I hear it's really really good, I'll grab it. If I don't hear much buzz, I'll probably wait. But it's a version. It's well documented. It's a version of the character that I don't really love. Um, it's going to be interesting to see how and where this differs from the prequel novel that was released.
hmm hmm
Because I mean that covers quite a lot of the Riddler's backstory. And his early
yeah,
days of being the Riddler. So whether that's just going to be its own thing, and we'll just have to wait and see.
yeah. I mean, I think that you and I are on the same page, which is not surprising. It's I'm intrigued, but it's also not something that I'm going to be counting down the days for. I probably won't buy it right off the bat. Um, Unless, to your point, people are like, "Oh my god, it's great! You need you need to read it." Then I might get pushed in that direction, because I also don't think that we're not going to cover it in the show until it's all out anyway.
That's
Uh,
true.
so so I'm open to doing that for the show, but at that point, I'm like, well, I might as well just wait till it hits DC Universe Infinite
Yeah,
and just
in a way,
read it
everyone can sort of
that way, or the compiled version,
yeah.
the compilation. So
Quick side tangent, because how Paul Dano is writing this one. Has that Penguin story that Danny DeVito wrote come out yet?
oh yeah, that came out a while ago.
Oh,
It
did
was
it? Shit,
good
I'll
too.
have to catch up on it.
Well, it's because it was part of a greater collection.
Okay.
It wasn't its own book. It was a story within a compilation, and oh god, it was some sort of villain, Batman villain compilation. I can't remember the name of the book offhand, but it's definitely
Okay.
worth picking up.
Is
It was
it?
good.
It wouldn't be on DC Universe yet, though, would it?
It might be by now,
Yeah,
honestly.
I'll have to do some googling and some
Yeah,
research.
Google it, figure out the real name. If I had my iPad, I could look it up because I have it on Comixology. I bought it.
Okay.
Um, but you're right. Then it would take me 5 minutes to actually find it. But yeah, it's out and it is good.
Cool. Sorry,
Yeah.
I just thought of it while we were talking.
Oh, but speaking of the Penguin, great segue. Colin Farrell was at Comic Con and he was asked about the Penguin series for HBO Max.
Mm.
I don't have this in front of me, so I'm doing it by memory. But I remember he said something very vague about loving the script and being excited about the story. But he is busy through this year on something else, and they said that they won't shoot the Penguin thing until early next year at the earliest.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're past the halfway mark of the year, so that's not too
Yeah,
far away. That
yeah.
timeline checks out.
Yeah. Well, and he's a pretty busy guy, but it's what I mean. For me, I was like, really, like you're not even going to film till next year, okay? Like it just feels like okay. I guess I'll wait, but I don't know. I was hoping it would be sooner than that.
Yeah, I'm happy to wait.
Maybe I'm just greedy. Es
You little
posible.
Veruca salt.
I want it now. All right, cool. Well, another announcement that always happens at Comic Con, they do this every time, is we get the next slate of DC animated films.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about these pretty often. We talk about how it's hard to keep up with them. We ranked the Batman animated films on the last episode, which was super fun. And it did make me want to revisit a lot of them. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I haven't had the time, but I I will say just a little, look into the life of me. I tried to watch the new Green Lantern movie the other night,
Yeah.
and I got 20 minutes in, and that's all I saw. And it was nothing against the film. I just didn't realize I was so bloody tired when I sat down to watch it. But what I
Yeah.
did see was good. But I do need to go back and try it again, because it was I was out, out
Yeah.
cold.
They did show it at Comic Con.
Mhm.
And I've heard very good things. I heard it's very good, but I'm waiting for it to
I
be readily
liked what I
available.
saw.
Yeah.
Mm.
Good. But we got the next slate of them. Oh, by the way, I also got a message being like, "Hey, did you guys ever do Injustice?" And we still haven't done Injustice. That is on the
I
to-do
didn't
list.
think
So
we did. Yeah.
we did not. We did not. So that one will be coming sooner than later. But crap, we just did Soul of the Dragon.
Yeah.
We're bad at keeping up on it. Apologies. So coming up for next year, the first one is Ruby / Justice League. It's a crossover, and Ruby is some sort of anime character.
See that one was scratching my head. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Am I
Yeah,
supposed to know what that
yeah,
means?
yeah. I only did because I found another article that had images, and I was like, oh, I feel like I have seen that character before, but that's my only familiarity with Ruby. So yes, this is very random. I know nothing about it. For our anime friends, I hope they're psyched. But yeah, this is one where I'm like, well, I'll wait and see a trailer and see what it feels like. But I go in with no affection or knowledge of who they're crossing over with.
No, me either.
The next one is intriguing. It is Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham.
Yes.
And our pal Robert Reinecke, and I mean, and others as well, but he said it is very much Batman meets Lovecraft,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very spooky and mysterious. And I don't know the story it's based on. I'm not familiar with it. I think I've got to look it up.
Yeah, I did. I did a little bit of looking into this one last night, and
Okay,
yeah, I can see it was a mini series from the early aughts, which I'm sure would be on DC Universe Infinite. So that one I will be putting on my list to check out to do a bit of reading. But it yeah, it's like it's an Elseworlds thing. It's kind of steampunky from what I can gather. Um, yeah, maybe I guess best comparison would be Gotham by Gaslight. I think.
it does seem like that. It certainly seems like its own thing, but I want to say it's Julian Chan who said, "Hey Andy, you asked for another spooky Batman movie, and this could work for Scarathon." So I hope that's the case. I just don't know enough about the source material to be excited yet.
No, me either. But we'll yeah, like I said, I'm sure it will be on DC Universe Infinite. So hopefully we'll be able to check it out.
Yeah. The next one is Legion of Superheroes, which
Yeah,
I think that's a fun idea. I mean, I like Legion of Superheroes. I think that animated series they did was sorely underrated. I thought it was pretty good, and it is another huge group of characters that I feel like are worth exploring. And so I think an animated film is a great idea.
yeah, I'm down for that. It's a it's one of the franchises I don't know much about, other than the fact that I know Superman's in part of it, and Brainiac, one of them. Is it
It's
two or
usually
three or
Brainiac
something?
5.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's as far as my knowledge goes. But
Brainiac 5, Saturn Girl, Lightning Lad. I'm trying to remember who they
I'm
all are,
happy
but
to dive in and learn more. Let's put it
yeah.
that way.
Well, I'll tell you, if have you watched the last season of Young Justice?
No, I haven't.
There's quite a bit of Legion of Superheroes in that as well.
Like, to be perfectly honest, I haven't finished watching the previous season.
Oh my god.
I just lost track of it, and that big like was it almost like 5 month gap in between parts 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
that kind of worked against it for me. I lost all momentum and just never got back to it. I did buy it, like the whole thing when I was in Hawaii that year, but I
Mhm.
just I just haven't gone back and watched it.
All right. Well, there you go. Add it to the list when you get a chance.
I will.
And then finally is Justice League Warworld.
Sounds interesting.
That sounds promising.
Hmm.
So, yep, that's what we got coming. Ruby Justice League, weird. Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham, I'm into it. Legion of Superheroes, I'm into it. Justice League Warworld, I'm into it. So I think, yeah, the only one that I'm not super excited. I mean, super excited is a bit much, but the only one that I'm like, I don't know, is the Ruby one because I don't know anything about her. But the other three all
Yeah.
sound interesting, and I think what I like is that all of them are pretty unexpected, which I
Correct.
like a nice surprise.
Yeah. I hope one of them is going to be, I don't know about the Ruby one, but the Justice League War World, because we haven't seen a Justice League movie yet in this new continuity, and I'm keen to see what that looks like.
That's a good point.
It's look, I did not spoiler it, like it's hinted at well, not hinted at in the first 20 minutes of that Green Lantern movie I saw, but it's none of the heavy hitters.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm really keen to see what Justice League looks like in this new animated universe.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've seen Superman, right? Because of Man of Tomorrow, and we've seen Batman because of the Long Halloween, and we've seen Wonder Woman because of the Justice Society movie. So, and Flash as
And
well.
Flash,
So,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And
And we
Aquaman
know
too.
what
Yeah.
Green Lantern looks like, so
Yeah. All right. So starting to put the pieces back together. Cool. All right. Well, more on those as we learn more. But this was the big news for the day. Are you ready? Zack Snyder is coming back to DC, guys. Good news, everybody.
it's not the way we hoped.
No, he's coming back to DC. What? That's that is a true statement, Brendan.
It is a true statement, and when I say just not the way we hoped, I'm not taking away from this news because this news it sounds awesome.
So here is what Zach says. He says, "Hey DC fans, I'm so excited to be a special guest in an upcoming episode of Teen Titans Go. Check it out this fall on Cartoon Network."
I'm down.
I love it. I love it. I tell you, they wore me down, and now I like Teen Titans Go. I'm a fan, and I really love how they have special guests like this. You know, we talked about when George Perez passed away about how he and Marv Wolfman did guest spots on Teen Titans Go. Stan Lee did Teen Titans Go go to the movies.
He did too. I forgot about that.
So yeah, Zack Snyder on Teen Titans Go. Hell yeah, I'm excited. That's awesome. I love how much fun they have with the DC universe, and I love that they're not afraid to poke fun at themselves and then the greater universe as well. And I just love that Zack is a good sport and is like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll show up on Teen Titans Go. I think that's really fun.
No, I agree. Good for him and good for them.
Yeah. So I thought that was real. That was random but fun news. All right, now we got the first of the DC trailers that we enjoyed thanks to Comic-Con. This is probably the most random one, and that is the official trailer for The Sandman on Netflix.
This one I haven't seen.
It literally dropped minutes before we started recording, so you can be forgiven.
Okay, because I did do my homework.
I know.
Otherwise,
I know you did. Well, I will tell you this. I've never read the Sandman comics. And I have a hunch, yeah, we are going to be on the same page here. So I come in with very little knowledge or preconceived notions on the Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
I do know some very broad strokes just from being a comic book fan, but yeah, I've never actually gone back to read them. Strangely, Catherine has read them and actually really likes them.
Oh, there
but
you go.
I will say, watching the trailer as not a Sandman fan, it's a really good trailer. It's very intriguing. It's very cool. It's certainly, from what little I do know about Sandman, it feels very faithful and it feels pretty on the nose in the best way possible, is that they're just doing Sandman.
Yeah.
I know that it's acclaimed and it has a huge fan base, which is awesome. But I will say that I think the best thing I can say about it is that, as someone who's not like been dying to see a Sandman series or whatever, I watched the trailer and I am intrigued and I want to see it.
That's good.
I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. It seems very cinematic. It seems very supernatural. The effects and the imagery is very impressive. There's some really nice moments with the cast in here, and it feels like one of those. I'm trying to think of the right way to put it. Is like, you know how like the Constantine series looked very cool, and you're like, yeah, it's based on a comic, but I feel like I can just go in and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how this really feels. It feels like a much, much bigger, better, and more cinematic version of that.
Okay.
You know, like there's certainly some horror elements here, some very intriguing visuals. There's a lot of supernatural, a lot of weird stuff, which I think is all on brand for Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like what you would expect. And when I see the trailer, I'm like, wow, that looks like really cool. If I had never even heard of the Sandman before, and I saw this trailer, I would still go, oh, wow, this looks really cool and weird and creepy, and I want to see what this is about.
Okay. Yeah, when we finish recording, I'll have to check it out, because we did kind of say before we recorded, you said that this had dropped, and I'm like, well, I didn't get to see it. I mean, Netflix, well, any, not just Netflix, but the streaming services and stuff, like, they can take a property that you know nothing about and turn it into a really good television show. So yeah, I mean, I'm keen to check it out. I just, yeah, don't. I mean, I know the source material's beloved, and like they've had Sandman projects in the past. That this is one that I think they've been trying to do like a movie for a long time, before sort of the the new format of television the way that it is now. Which I think the little that I know about the comic, I think this is probably the way to do it,
Yeah.
because you can get everything in there. But yeah, I mean, I'm color me curious.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And I agree that this is probably the right avenue to go to introduce more people to the Sandman, because Sandman
Yeah,
isn't a name that for the general public is going to mean anything like a Batman, a Superman, whatever,
no,
So you really got to sell it on the content, not the name. And with Netflix, people are just more likely to sample it.
correct.
And just from what I'm seeing, and I don't want to tempt fate, but like this feels like it has the ingredients to become a hit on Netflix, because people are like, "Hey, have you seen that Sandman thing? Like, you should see it. It's really weird and it's really good." Um, Almost like in some ways like Doom Patrol. How like Doom Patrol was so cool and so unique that whether or not you knew the source material, it became critically acclaimed and it became very popular. And I could see the same happening with Sandman, especially based on this trailer.
Yeah, agreed.
So it's very cool. And here's the thing, we don't have to wait long because Sandman comes out on August 5th.
Oh wow,
Yeah. So what's that, 2 weeks?
yeah, not far away.
Yeah. So yeah, when I saw that at the end where it was like starting on August 5th, I was like, oh well, holy crap. Well then I guess we'll be enjoying it very quick. And I will definitely be tuning in. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'll add it to the list. I'll see how I go because I know
They,
there's a few things coming out in the next couple of weeks that I am looking forward to more. I must say, but
like League of Super Pets next week.
I'm not sure when that's released over here. Actually,
Yeah, it comes out next week here.
I'll have to do a Google, but if I were to hazard a guess, I dare say it'd probably be around September here when the next lot of school holidays is. But
Ah.
yeah, I was going to say Harley Quinn
Oh
season
yeah.
3
Yep.
and
Hmm.
Stargirl. I think's early August as well, isn't she?
Oh, wow. I guess you're right. Oh, man. So much coming to look forward to.
So
So, yeah, Super Pets releases next weekend. And I mentioned it to Catherine, and she goes, so are you saying I'm going to watch Harley so you can go see Super Pets? And I'm like, well, I'm not saying that for sure, but I am not opposed to that. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, unless, maybe we get a babysitter. I don't know.
it does look
Um,
like a lot of fun.
It does. It does. And I might have to for the podcast. The
Yep,
people
called it.
demand it.
15th of September it comes out here.
All right. See?
So that'll be one you'll have to do without me.
Okay. Well, fair enough. If I can get Jamie back, we'll see.
Well, that means he'd have to pay and go see it at the cinema too.
Oh, so yeah, that's
And if
probably
he's
not
doing
gonna happen.
70-hour weeks,
That's
good
probably not
luck.
gonna happen. Well, maybe we just wait for HBO Max. I do feel like the family movies have been coming to streaming so much quicker than
Mm,
others.
yeah.
Like right now, that movie, The Bad Guys, is already on Peacock.
Yep. Yep. I
I
mean,
haven't
look, and
watched it,
honestly,
but like,
by the time it hits HBO Max over there, it probably will just be hitting cinemas here. So
yeah,
we'll see. But I am
yeah, we'll
keen to
see,
see it.
see how it goes. Me too. Well, speaking of animation, this was the biggest Batman trailer of the weekend, and that
Yes.
it is. And that is the trailer for Batwheels. Batwheels is coming, y'all, and we get a trailer with a lot of animation, very little dialogue, but one banger of a theme song.
Yes. I to the point that yeah, when I was watching it, I'm like, is this what I'm supposed to be watching? Like, because it's not really a
It's
trailer.
more of a music video.
Yeah, it's like an extended what I'm imagining the opening credits will be like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, except it's like the full song because it's
Yeah, that's what I
two
mean.
and a half
An
minutes long.
extended version of that.
Yeah, it's the extended remix. So I mean, the point is this
The 12-inch.
song. Yes, this song is going on the Batman playlist immediately.
Nice.
It is catchy, right?
It
I'm
is.
not crazy. But yeah, so it's a 2.5 minute trailer music video where it's mostly just animation and the song. The theme song is super catchy, but we get a lot of animation of the Batwheels, a little bit of Batman, Robin, and Batgirl, a couple of the villain Batwheels. So we get like the duck for the Penguin, we get the Joker's van. Um, those are the two that really stand out. I don't know if I saw any others. But if you're looking for it on YouTube, it's called Meet the Batwheels.
Hmm.
So that's how you can find it. Um, but well, I won't say anything. I've watched it twice now. And Brendan, what do you think of this first real look at Batwheels?
Well, I saw it once. Um, I will say this. I'm looking forward to it more now than I would have been, or even if I would have been a couple of months ago. And I say that because Henry's at the age now where still not a lot, but we might watch say 10 to 20 minutes of TV every so often, and we've been watching like the Paddington animated series and a few other like kid shows over here like Play School and stuff, and he's starting to enjoy it a little bit. But the other thing that he really likes, everything is car, car.
Oh,
Like, no, Henry, that's a bus. Car. So, and he loves his toy cars. So when I was watching that trailer this morning, I was just like, I reckon this is going to play a big part in my future. And Jess was watching, she was sort of in and out a little bit, and she was just like, all I see is this is, you know, an unabashed commercial for toys. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's a kid's cartoon. Like, that's why they do it. Um, so yeah, I'm excited about it now because Henry, when this hits, is it HBO Max or Cartoon Network?
it is. According to this, it is HBO Max.
Okay, so hopefully that means I get
But
it over
I
here.
have a hunch it might end up on both.
Okay.
Yeah, because here it says, um, the secret origin of Batwheels zooms onto Cartoonito on HBO Max, but then it's hashtag Cartoon Network. So my
Okay.
hunch is it's going to end up on both.
Well, either or, I hope that means I'll get it here on binge. So I'll be able to watch it with Henry legally, and I have a feeling he will enjoy looking at the car over and over. So yeah, I'm down. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out in my future and Henry's. This could be his introduction to Batman.
And as I'm just kind of clicking through it, you also get a very quick glimpse of the Harley car, which it looks like it's a hyena.
Okay, I did the nanosecond that you heard Batman talk. I was just
Yeah.
like, I said to Jess, I'm like, Batman, someone. I'm sure it's someone. And then I'm like, I think it's Ethan Hawke. And I quickly checked IMDb. I'm like, yeah, it's Ethan Hawke, which is
Yeah, Ethan
still like
Hawke.
Ethan Hawke playing Batman in this is so bizarre. So
Right,
bizarre.
right. Well, I will say, I think the animation looks great.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
is
it's
very,
very preschool, but it looks good.
but it's very pleasing to the eye. Like I think Batman looks great. I think Robin and Batgirl look great, and
They
I
do.
think that like I don't love all the car designs, but at the same time, I get that each one has to look distinctly different from the others.
Mm.
It's not like they can all be cars, so
You
I
don't like
get
the Batman monster truck?
not so much, not so much. And I also like the weird that the Redbird is like a drag racing car, but
Yeah.
again, whatever. They all have to be very, very different. But that said, like it's super colorful. It's like pleasing to the eye. I like how the human version or I got the human characters look. And I think the Batwheels themselves are pretty adorable. So I hope they sell a little variety pack with all of them in it because I will buy them and put them on my desk.
Joker looks very clownish, doesn't he? Like, I
Yeah,
mean, when I
yeah.
say clownish, I mean almost kind of more Joaquin Phoenix Joker than comic book Joker.
Yeah, he looks not as scary as the Joker we've grown accustomed to
Mm.
for for the kids. There also seems to be a little robot butler type thing.
Yeah. Wonder if his name's
But
just like Al or something.
I bet you it's something like that. Um, but there is a shot in the Bat Cave. You know, they got the T Rex in there. they, I don't know. I think it looks adorable. Of course, it's for kids, but it looks cute, and I'm gonna watch it, and Harley can watch it with me.
Yeah, look, I mean, if I didn't have Henry, I'd probably check it out of curiosity, but I don't think it's something I'd go out of my way to watch. But yeah, having Henry definitely makes me more excited for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but when I get up on weekends, like I still put on cartoons Saturday and Sunday mornings when I'm eating my cereal or drinking my coffee, and it's all stuff that I'm happy to like half pay attention to, and this is the perfect example of that.
That's true.
And that's what I will use it for. And Harley will watch it with me, and I hope she likes it because it's super cute. Oh,
Mhm.
by the way, this morning I got to just say this word of warning to my friends out there. A couple episodes ago, I talked about the new Superman and Flash serials that are out there.
Yes.
This morning, I tried the Superman one for the first time.
Hmm.
It's not good.
Okay.
The box is beautiful. The artwork is great. Even the cereal itself is very pretty. It's very colorful, but it's supposed to taste like berries. So I thought it would taste like Fruit Loops.
Hmm.
It doesn't taste like pretty much anything. Like it's lacking flavor, and I'm just like, nah. I'm like, but now I got to finish the box because I bought the damn thing, but it was not good. I'm
You're
hoping the Flash one is better.
just you're an adult. You don't have to finish it. Like you can keep the box, but if you
I
don't like
mean,
the
okay,
food, you don't need to eat it.
you are making a valid point. I think
Like
you're
I get the
right.
whole not wasting food and stuff. I get that and I appreciate
See,
it. But
here's the
if
thing about growing up
if
poor.
you've bought
You
something and
don't
you don't
waste
like it,
food.
yeah, I know, I'm the same. But you know, it's okay if you don't like
Okay.
it.
Okay. I really don't like it.
Well, then don't eat it.
Plus, it's just carbs and sugar, so maybe it's
Yeah.
best I don't eat it. But I bought two boxes just because I was like, oh man, these are so cool. So I feel like the second box I'm just gonna leave sealed on my shelf
Mm.
and just leave the cereal in there for the rest of the time.
Like when the BVS cereals came out, um, a good friend over there, Luis Salazar, who I'm assuming listens to this show, but used to be on the Nightlight occasionally.
I know
Um,
he was usually your San Diego Comic
yeah,
Con,
right.
yeah,
Correspondent.
informant or whatever.
He
Correspondent. That's better.
yeah,
Informant. Oh, it also works, but sounds a little more nefarious.
he sent me a box of both the Batman and Superman cereals, and I can't remember which one it was, but one of them tasted like absolute shit. And
The Batman one was pretty
it was
bad.
like choc berry or something. Yeah, yeah, it was the Batman
Yes,
one
it
because I
was
was remember
chocolate
going like
strawberry.
it was terrible, and
Yeah, it
I
was. It really was.
tried it once and I kept the box. I've still got the box, but I did
Oh,
not
me
eat the
too.
rest of it because it tasted like ass.
Yeah, it ain't good. I still ate the whole box, but I shouldn't have. It was terrible. Anyway, sorry for the cereal tangent. The point is I'm going to be eating cereal, probably not this new Superman cereal, when I watch Batwheels in just a couple of weeks, because the Secret Origin of Batwheels comes out on HBO Max on September 17th.
Oh wow!
So yeah, some of this stuff, man, we
Just
don't have to wait
after
very
just
long.
after League of Super Pets drops at the cinemas here,
Oh my god, it's a good week to be a kid in Australia.
right?
Yeah. And don't forget to check out this trailer and add this song to your Batman playlist.
Is the song available?
I mean,
You
I
ripped it.
just ripped the audio off
Yeah.
YouTube.
Okay.
That's what I do. But I don't know. All right. So I we talked about Comic-Con pretty recently, me and Jamie, because we talked about how DC Comics did not have a booth on the floor. Um, Again, I didn't go this year, so I couldn't
Which is
confirm, but
bizarre because there's
that is
been a
bizarre.
shitload of comic news come out the last couple of days. Like
Yeah.
obviously the Riddler one, but there's been announcements of a heap of DC comics. Like there's a Gotham Year one coming out and a bunch of other titles.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super odd. But we had that whole conversation, and I was like, yeah, like I kind of get it. They have fandom now, so Comic Con is less of a big deal. And so I didn't even expect WB to do Hall H this year. And it made me feel better about missing it. I was also like, you know what? It's kind of nice to go back to the roots where people don't have to sleep out overnight. Like I used to spend all of Friday and then spend the night just to be in Hall H on Saturday. Like, if you remove the big WB/Marvel Studios panels, you don't have that happen. But guess what? It happened. So I saw people still camping out like I had done many, many times in the past. And I'm like, see, okay, well, we're back to this. But WB did have their panel. As is tradition, they kicked off Saturday and then Marvel Studios closed Saturday. That's the way it always goes. And they said, we are bringing Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and we're bringing Black Adam. And I've said this about fandom, and I'm going to say it about San Diego Comic-Con. When the studio tells you what they're bringing, just believe them. Like, this happens every time, every year at Comic-Con and at Fandom. Fans get themselves all worked up thinking that there's going to be all these surprises and all these things that are going to happen. And then when none of them happen, all that happens is what they said was going to happen. They get mad. No, just believe them. They told you what they were bringing. They brought exactly what they said they were bringing. What are you mad about? Just because you got your hopes up with no information. Like, guys, again, it happens with Comic-Con all the time. It happens with fandom. Last year with fandom, people were like, "Oh, I'm kind of disappointed." I'm like, "Why? They showed you exactly what they said they were going to show you." Yeah, but I really thought there'd be some announcements. They didn't say there would be. Yeah, but it'd be really great if Ben Affleck. No, he didn't say that was going to happen.
To be fair,
but I really should restore the Snyder. No, that's not the plan.
With Fandom last year, I didn't expect any surprises. I just didn't really love the stuff that they gave us.
Anyway, sorry. All that aside,
it is like, I understand people wanting the surprise because some of the biggest things from Comic-Con are the surprises. Like, there's been some awesome stuff that DC have done at Comic-Con, but I still think the best thing that they've ever done was that when they announced BVS.
Well, do you know why? Because that is the only example where it was an actual surprise. Every other Comic-Con since then, and that was 2013, they brought exactly what they said they were bringing. Every other time.
True.
The only time they did something like that, an announcement that was not expected and came out of nowhere, was the announcement of BVS.
Yeah, you're right. It's just, I think people just want that feeling again.
I get that.
Which
I
get, yeah.
We all would, but just keep your feet on the ground.
Like, I mean, well, no pun intended. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're talking about the rumor that Henry Cavill was going to be there to talk up or announce something to do with Superman. And look, I think the part where I raised an eyebrow and most people did is when Deadline started reporting it. That was where I paid attention more than I ordinarily would. And I think Screen Rant might have been talking about it as well. I don't know how trustworthy they are compared to the trades, but yeah. Look, it's one of those things. I woke up, when I did wake up this morning just before 6, like I jumped on my phone and was like, okay, yep.
To see if he was going to show up.
Shazam, Black Adam, did he appear? Oh, shit. So, I wasn't, rage tweeting like I saw some people doing, and I wasn't doing the hashtag Henry Cavill Superman like I saw so many people doing. But, I alluded to it before we started recording, is the biggest problem that Warner Brothers DC have and had is that the most noise about their panel is what didn't happen and what we didn't get, as opposed to what did happen and we did get. And that's a problem. And I know we're obviously going to talk about the Shazam trailer, but it kind of goes to what I'm saying as well. Is I still think that Warner Brothers and DC have a problem with their DC stuff. Because, I mean, the Shazam trailer shows footage of and name drops, you know, the Flash, which is Christ knows what turmoil that's in, or how, but what's going to happen there. You know, Ben Affleck's Batman. We're not getting more of Ben Affleck's Batman. Um, you know, and people are desperate to see Superman, and it seems like they're not willing to go down that path. And we've got this, you know, Robert Pattinson Batman, which did quite well, and you know, it mixed reaction, I think, but I think overall fans liked it. Um, but you've got these movies that are continuing on, like Shazam and Aquaman, and you know, there's going to be a third Wonder Woman. They're tied to that continuity, and I know Flash is, you know, supposed to change things up and everything. I get it, but at the moment, we still haven't seen that movie, and we keep hearing, you know, well, Jim Lee, like, there's no more Snyder sequels. It's like, well, yeah, okay, there might not be any Zack Snyder directed sequels, but there's still movies set in that continuity. Um, you know, whether you like Justice League or not, or, you know, you prefer the Snyder cut, you know, that that those characters are still canon in the greater overall DC universe, and they just seem to not want to touch Superman, and people are screaming for it. It just it's a real problem. I don't know. I mean, I know how I think they should address it, which is pay the man what he wants and get him back in the blue tights. But yeah, it's not a good situation to be in, and I don't know how they fix it.
I mean, my theory. Here's the thing. Let me just put this out there. Uh, we have been teased with Henry Cavill's coming back as Superman for the past 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So even when that rumor came out, even though it was from Deadline, and yes, Deadline is a much more reputable source than most of these scoop sites and everything, which is why everyone did pay attention, and I get that because it came from something a legit news organization like
Yeah.
Deadline, as opposed to we got this covered or God knows what.
Yes.
And so it's like, oh well, but I think it was, you know, and I've said this in the past, is it's that game of telephone that then becomes a rumor, even though it was never going to happen.
Mm.
It was, oh, you know, every month there's a group of people trying to make it trend on Twitter. Henry Cavill should return. Henry, whenever he's asked, he says, you know, I still want to do it, and so hope springs eternal. But because of that, you know, how many times over the past 5 years is, oh, he's coming back, and there's rumors and there's rumors, and the point where every rumor is just, at this point you don't even need anything to back it up because it's just easy to throw it out there and get the traffic. I'm not saying that's what Deadline did. I'm just saying that, like, but I've been
Yeah, I
burned
know
by
what you
that
mean.
so many times in the past 5 years that when this one came up, I was like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Mm-hmm.
And because what I think would happen is, yeah, would it trended again a month ago, and then people were like, oh my God, Comic-Con's coming up. Oh my God, Henry Cavill should show up at Comic-Con. Wouldn't it be cool if Henry Cavill showed up at Comic-Con and he was at, you know, and he announced he's coming back as Superman. And then yes, The Rock like put a little fuel on that fire by acknowledging Superman.
Yeah,
And
I think the difference between this time and the past is, like you said, with Deadline and The Rock, like, it's coming from sources where you're like, oh, hang on a minute, you know, like there could be the tiniest grain of fact in here somewhere.
right. So because of that, though, it's like, oh, will it happen? Should it happen? And then all that becomes, there's a rumor that it is happening. And that's the leap that happens. And it happens all the time. And then it becomes the rumor, even though it was not. It was speculation and it was hoping.
Yeah.
And then everybody gets their hopes up. And then when it doesn't happen, even though nobody said it was going to happen, now we're mad. And I can't be mad. I think that, you know, I would love Henry Cavill to come back as Superman. I don't think he should be done. I think he'd be great. All that is true. But I also am not holding my breath. We all know that they're trying to reshape. They're moving around the pieces on the board for a path forward, and it seems like they don't quite know how Superman fits into that for whatever reason. I do think that my hunch is it's more about kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Because if they do bring him back, to your point, then they're just chaining themselves again to the Snyderverse, which, you know, a lot of fans don't like. But if they do, but if they don't bring him back, then you've got the other fans. Like there's going to be a group of people mad no matter what you
who
do.
are ravenous.
Yeah, you're gonna piss off someone no matter what you do. I think that again, I think there's an opportunity to do it with him, and there's a way to do it, but they don't ask me. But at the same time, like it to me, their strategy seems to be, let's just leave Superman in the background for now, and just give it time. That seems like the strategy.
Which brings me to my next question: is the fact that, I mean, they'd have to know that, you know, the word on the street and deadline and whatever else is that, you know, the word was that, you know, Henry Cavill's going to be there. If you're Warner Brothers, do you get out ahead of that and go, guys, Henry, we have no plans to bring Henry to Comic-Con. Henry is not going to be there, to avoid what happened this morning, which is, like I said, I had to scroll through Twitter for ages to actually see something about the trailers that were released, as opposed to Henry wasn't there, Henry wasn't there, Henry wasn't there. Like, would you get ahead of it, or would you just do what they did and not acknowledge it at all?
I get why they ignore it, you know, because if you spend all day addressing every rumor that comes out, like it just becomes a monster unto itself. And as we've said in the past, Twitter is not real life. The amount of people who are mad about it on Twitter is a tiny speck of the people who are going to go to see these movies. Sorry, that's just the case. That's why I don't buy the whole everybody's asking for it. No, that's not true. Everybody's not asking for it. A very passionate fan base is asking for it. I'm asking for it. But I'm also realistic to know that that is not representative of everybody out there who wants a new Superman movie.
Yeah.
So I just think that, and they're a huge freaking corporation. So I'm sure from their standpoint, they're like, whatever, you know, like rumors are rumors, and we're bringing what we're bringing. I probably would address it if it was me. I probably would, just to manage expectations. But
that's exactly, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Is like, just to get.
But then, did you piss people off? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I probably would. I probably would still say, yes, we're aware of the rumor.
No,
we as previously announced, we are only talking about Shazam and Black Adam. We look forward to seeing you guys in Hall H. You know, but
yeah.
I didn't mean to talk about this now, but all right, we did.
Yeah. I mean, it sort of organically got there.
So the first trailer, we got our first official trailer of Shazam: Fury of the Gods, and it is a full-on trailer coming this Christmas. And what did you think, Brendan?
I really liked it. I mean, I guess the easiest way to sum it up is it looks like more of the first one. And I'm pretty sure you're on the same page with this. I freaking loved the first one.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I saw it at the cinema 3 times. I had such a blast with it. I've been meaning to watch it again for the last couple of months, actually, but just haven't gotten around to it. I really, really like that first Shazam movie. And I've been really, really looking forward to the next one. And like I said, it looks like more of the same. So sign me up.
No, I agree. I think it's a great trailer. I'm really excited about it. I love the first one like you. And this, to me, seems like it is delivering everything I would want from a sequel, which is tonally, it's very consistent. Everybody is back. The director is back. The cast is back. Everything feels like an extension of the first, but it feels a little bigger. It feels a little more exciting. It feels a little more cinematic, you know, like, so it's like, it gives you what you love about the first one, but it seems like it is certainly adding to the pot. I love the monsters. I love the creatures. I love leaning into the gods. Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu as the two villains is unexpected, but really awesome. I love that we get a huge freaking dragon for him to fight. I love that. So I love that it's going bigger, but at the same time, it seems to be maintaining the charm of the first one, which is Zachary Levi's performance as Shazam, which is just so utterly likable. The Shazam family, Shazamily, you know, even the foster parents who I love, even though the mom looks like she got a glow up, doesn't she?
I was going to say, I actually looked at this morning. I'm like, I don't remember her being as hot in the first.
Yeah, it just feels like she went and, you know, treated herself to a little bit of a spa day, a little bit of salon day, but she looks great. I like that they brought back Jimon Hansu as the wizard. That was unexpected because doesn't the first movie imply that he's
I
dead?
mean, he kind of just disappears. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm glad that he is back. I think that is really cool. So it's funny. It's cool. Like the powers on display look great. The new costumes look great, and I'm really excited about the villains. So yeah, I agree with you. It is more of the same in the best way, but still seems to be like the next logical step for for Shazam and this cast
Yeah.
of characters.
Did you see the little Easter egg cameo in the trailer?
Annabelle,
Yes.
how could I miss her?
Right?
That's great.
I'm amazed they put that in the trailer.
Yeah, me too. But I'm into it.
Yeah. Was there an Annabelle cameo in the first one? I know there was in Aquaman.
There was.
Was there?
It's at the very beginning. It's when Billy is breaking into that pawn shop.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, there is
Yeah,
too. I'd
yeah.
forgotten about it. Yeah.
She's on a shelf in the pawn
Because
shop.
he directed, was it Annabelle Comes Home?
Creation,
Creation.
creation,
Okay.
which is the best Annabelle.
Yeah, it actually, yeah, that one is good. And I do like Comes Home, how it ties it
I
in,
like Comes Home a lot.
how it ties it into the Conjuring
Yeah,
movies. But
yeah,
yeah, Creation's awesome.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, it just feels like I feel like the best sequels are when the first movie is a hit. Um, it just energizes the creative team to go, oh, we did it, and now we can really have some fun.
Yes.
Like there are certain movies that you can feel that energy of like, okay, the first time we had to make it work and we did, and now we can really have fun. Um, I know not everybody agrees, but like that's how I feel about Scream 2. Is like
Hmm.
Scream 1 was such a hit that Scream 2, they just felt you could just feel the confidence oozing out of that movie. And this is how that feels. Is we're like,
I
oh,
really like Scream too.
I love Scream 2. I
It's
love Scream 2.
great.
But that's kind of a good example. I feel like there are certain movies like that where the sequel just feels more sure-footed because they, you know, the pressure's off a little bit. They don't have to prove themselves, and now they can really just go for it. And that's how Shazam: Fury of the Gods feels to me. As you said, it was a little surprising, but I thought very cool that they gave nods to the Flash and Aquaman and Batman. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, it
It's
just
a
seems
little
odd,
odd because it is odd because you would think they're trying to not call attention
right? And
to.
like, you literally had Jim Lee 24 hours before saying no Snyder sequels. It's like, you've just got footage from Justice League in the movie, in the trailer, and it's not the bloody Justice League version. Like, it's footage from Zack Snyder's version.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
bizarre.
yeah. It is bizarre, but it kind of also made me happy. Whereas I'm like, oh, they're embracing the world; they're not shying away from it.
Mm.
But yes, it's odd when you're trying to step away from it to just go, oh well, yeah.
I mean, I guess the original marketing plan is we should have had the Flash by now, yeah? Or
God,
was Flash meant
I
to come?
can't even remember. I
Never
think
mind.
so because the Flash was supposed to come out in November,
Actually,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
and Shazam was next year.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't make sense either then, because it's like, if it does redo the world, I guess mentioning that, yeah, never mind.
Um, Also, we mentioned the Annabelle moment, but if you notice, all the other stuffed animals, they're all like DC themed stuffed animals.
I haven't looked. I only really noticed Annabelle. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Go look. There's like they're like stuffed Wonder Womans. There's like a stuffed teddy bear Robin. There's like I want to say there's like a Starro back there somewhere. So, they did that in the first one, right? When he runs through the toy store and there's all the
Oh, it was
DC
all
toys.
DC stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I appreciate that he did that as well. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it looks great. I think it's a great trailer. I'm super excited about it. Um, really looking forward to it.
yeah. Count me in.
What they said was that it really is about Billy just being very nervous about growing up and getting older.
Hmm.
And so you can definitely see a little bit of that, the way it opens with him doubting himself of being like, I mean, look at all these other superheroes and what am I? What do I get to do? So also the kids have certainly all grown up a bit.
Yes.
Especially oh my god, I can't remember his name. Shoot. The Asian kid.
Oh, yeah.
He
I
he
mean,
got he got really tall. He shot up like a weed. But yeah, I mean, it looks really cool and it looks funny. There's also a very sweet moment where the mom or the foster mom is looking at Billy and like there's like this, it's like a heartfelt moment that I thought was very sweet.
mm.
I also appreciated the big huge like group hug of the whole family. That seems very cool.
Do you think the
So
foster parents find out in this movie?
I don't know. It's a great question. Probably. I mean, they're all hugging Shazam.
Mm. No, I'm really excited for this movie.
Yeah.
That was the only solace in the shuffle that they did after that great trailer that was released, was that we were getting Shazam sooner. Because yeah, like I said, I love that first movie. It's great.
I know that they did ask Zachary Levi Shazam about fighting Black Adam, and he just sidestepped the question.
Well, they
Uh,
they both got asked about Henry Cavill,
yeah.
Levi, and The Rock.
What did he say about Henry Cavill? I can't remember that.
Um, was it? I can't remember if it was he or Levi. I think just ignored it, and then The Rock said something about it. It depends who's playing him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
One
We'll get to
one of
that.
them said that. Yeah,
Yes, we'll get to that. Um, but anyway, yeah. Sorry, Eugene was the name of the Asian
that's
brother, and
right.
I apologize. It's Eugene, but I just when I saw him, I was like, oh, he really got older. um, so anyway, and then Rachel Zegler plays a pretty big role in this trailer, but I don't know who she's playing.
No, she's the
She
one from the we're talking about Scream, the newest Scream. Hey,
no,
no.
she is from West Side Story.
Oh yes. Sorry, I had her mixed up with Yeah,
I
I
know
know
who,
who I'm. I
yeah,
know.
I
Yeah,
know who you're
you know who
talking
I'm
about.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, she came off of West Side Story as Maria. She's also going to be Snow White in the remake.
That's
Um,
right.
but yeah, she's in this, and there's some really cool shots of her, but I don't know who she's playing. And then I looked it up on IMDb, and she is the only one that does not have a character name with her credit.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm like, interesting. But I thought that was worth noting as well.
Hmm.
She has powers, whoever she is.
Yeah.
But anyway, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. I think it looks awesome. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah. Like I said, count me in. I can't wait.
Great. And then Black Adam. We live in a world where Black Adam was headlining San Diego Comic Con,
Yes.
which is so strange when you think about it, right?
Really is.
um, I love that The Rock made this big dramatic entrance in costume. I think that's amazing.
That did look really cool.
And he looked great. Like, these costumes, we know that they can be cumbersome and everything, and they're meant to look good on film, but man, he looked amazing in person on stage in Hall H. So that
Very.
is
Yeah.
so cool. That's like the one moment that I'm bummed I couldn't be there for in person, because I feel like that's the moment where like the whole crowd would just erupt with applause and excitement.
Oh yeah. I mean, how can you not?
So that's very cool. And then he immediately went off stage and put on his street
Changed.
clothes.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if he'd done the whole panel in costume?
Well, I mean, you should have.
Um, but to your point, since you already brought it up, he was asked about who would win in a fight between Black Adam and Superman, and he said, "Oh yeah, that's an age old question, and pound for pound they're pretty equal, but I guess it all depends on who's playing Superman." And he even said that pretty coyly. And so I still think he's teasing us,
Of course he is.
but that was where he left it. And then he was also asked after the panel a similar question about Superman, and he did say that no disrespect to any Superman in the past, but Henry Cavill is a buddy, and he is the Superman of this generation.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he's given respect, but again, it's all still nothing, no actual movement on that other than some comments that you can read as you like.
Yeah.
But they did do a panel. They talked about Black Adam. I think he also mentioned that if the Justice Society are popular or they're well received from this movie, there's certainly potential for them to spin off
Hmm.
into other projects, which is cool. He said this is another big game changer for the DC universe. Um, and they also confirmed, which I thought this was very cool. This was the most unexpected news, I think, of Comic Con for DC fans. Viola Davis is returning as Amanda Waller in Black Adam.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I love that. I think that's amazing news. I've been talking recently, especially after Peacemaker, about just how great she is and what a perfect Amanda Waller she is. And I'd hate to see her go to waste. And I love that they continue to find ways to bring her in. And so I just wonder if there is some Argus connection here, where maybe if and when Black Adam gets taken into containment, maybe she is overseeing that.
Mm. Like, looks like there could be like a jump to the future or something.
Well, they did say that it's like modern times where he wakes up, but we don't know where in
That's
the
true. Yeah.
timeline it is.
Yeah.
So, but I just feel like, we all kind of had this assumption that the JSA is going to have to neutralize him towards the end of the film.
Yeah, they even teased that a little bit in this new. Very short. Like, I expected a longer trailer.
I have thoughts on
It was
that, but
just under 2 minutes. But yeah,
um,
actually, I think I might know where you're going with that.
yeah.
Now that I
So,
stop and think about it.
but yeah, so I feel like when the JSA neutralize him, we see him in the past trailer and in this new tease of him in some sort of containment pod. And we don't know if that's the beginning of the movie, the end of the movie, but I feel like that could very well be the end of the movie where they have to neutralize him because he can't be trusted. And I just see that as a perfect opportunity for Amanda Waller to step in and being like, yes, we'll take it from here.
Mm.
But I'm glad she's back. I think she's amazing. More Viola is always a good thing, and I think it's really great that. See, I guess I'm just a half. I guess I'm a glass half full kind of guy, because the way I see it is like I'm glad that even though they've rejiggered the universe, they are still trying to keep some continuity with what started in Man of Steel, and that includes Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
Instead of abandoning everything, they're still trying to incorporate what they can, where they can, and bringing in Viola Davis into Black Adam. You didn't have to do it. You don't have to go there, but they did it anyway because they still want to keep some sort of connective tissue, and I appreciate that.
Mm. I agree.
Um, and before you write your emails, I know Amanda Waller is not Superman. I know that, but I still think it's cool. And I think they did ask that they asked him about Superman and Shazam, and he said that I think it was the director who said it. By the end of this movie, he doesn't know who they are yet.
Mm.
So that was interesting too.
Yeah. The future's looking somewhat bright, but very interesting. Curious to see where they take it all.
Yeah. So we did not get a full trailer. We got a special Comic-Con sneak peek that is a minute and 13 seconds long. And you said you were expecting maybe something longer.
Yeah, I was just thinking, as in real time there, I was just kind of like, well, actually, when's Fandom going to drop? Because this still doesn't come out as like the 21st of October. So you could get Fandom in before Black Adam drops, which if that happens, I'm expecting a longer trailer. What were your thoughts?
That is part of it. I think that they just gave us the full theatrical trailer that's been playing in theaters this summer. And there is still more promotional time that they need to fill for Black Adam before October.
Mm.
So that could include Fandom, but it also means a full trailer 2. Right now, we're too close to trailer 1 for them to release trailer 2.
That's very true as well.
So what they did do is they're like, we've got to give them something. So they did this 1 minute and 13 second, which is essentially just enough to tide us over until they release the full second trailer, which, depending on when Fandom happens, I don't know if they'll wait that long, because if it's only a week or two before Black Adam is released, they might not want to wait that long.
Yeah.
But it'll be early fall when they release the final trailer. and this was sort of just, yeah, just a little snack in between to tide us over until then.
And I feel like there wasn't a hell of a lot of new footage in it either. Like there was some, but I'd also, for a trailer that goes under a minute and a half, I also felt like I'd seen a lot of it before as well.
I mean, some, but I glass half full. I was surprised at how much new stuff was in it.
Yeah, and look, I'm not saying that as a complaint either. Don't get me wrong.
Like, there were certainly a couple beats that we saw in the last trailer, like Black Adam flying next to the jets, and a couple similar moments. But there was also quite a bit of new stuff. We got
I like the
a
Doctor Fate stuff.
oh yeah, like him coming in and taking the helmet off and turning into Pierce Brosnan, or where there's a moment where it looks like he's multiplied himself and he's holding back Black Adam.
Yep.
It's fantastic. Um, there's a moment with Cyclone, who is, I think, getting the least time right now, probably because she's the least recognizable character. But there's this great like slow motion shot of her, like in all of her powers, which I think is really cool. We get almost nothing of Atom Smasher, which is interesting. Just a shot of him without his mask inside the ship.
Yeah, I thought there was like a second of him sort of running and growing towards the end, like just before the Hawkman final shot. Like it's
Maybe.
very quick.
Oh, it is very quick. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he's just running away from like an explosion.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, there's some really great, powerful shots of Black Adam just surging with power that I think is really badass. Here's my one complaint. I really only have one. Um, I hate that like yellow filter they put over what when they're in the Middle East. It looks like the whole thing has like a yellow filter on it, and I'm like, that annoys me.
Okay, I didn't really pay
But
attention.
aside from that, everything else looks really great. It looks really epic. And then yeah, that final shot, which you just alluded to, which is Black Adam versus Hawkman, is so badass.
Yeah, looks awesome.
So, and again, this really does imply what we all assume, which is he's sort of a reluctant ally, but at a certain point they
He's
have
gonna
to
turn.
bring him
Yeah.
down. But yeah, I mean, give me your other thoughts about this little teaser.
Look, I don't really have too much to say on it because, like like we said, it was only short. It wasn't a full trailer. It hasn't really moved the needle for me on the movie either. Like, I'll go and see it, obviously, but I can't say it's one that like I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to see it, I guess would be a better like I'm excited to see Shazam Fury of the Gods. I'm curious to see Black Adam because when we reviewed the trailer, like it's a character that I don't really know outside of when he's with Shazam. It's a character that I've never really had that much of an interest in as a solo character. I for the sake of this movie and DC fandom in general and The Rock, I really hope that The Rock playing a superhero that the general public have never heard of is enough to get bums on seats.
Hmm.
Because like Marvel do it all the time. Like they release these movies with heroes that the general public have no idea about, and they make $1 billion. But they're Marvel, and they've had this audience by the short and curlies for 4 or 5 years now. Where it doesn't matter what they release, well, you need to go and see it because it's the next chapter of the story. DC doesn't have that, and its reputation isn't that great. So yeah, I'm curious to see. Like, for the sake of DC movies, I hope it's a success. But it's even someone like me who's an easy lay when it comes to DC stuff, and like I said, I will go and see it. I just can't say I'm excited about it. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to sound like I'm being negative or trying to shit on the movie or what we've got. It's just a property that I don't really have that much of an interest in.
I mean, no, I mean it's pretty consistent with what you said on the first trailer.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, I am excited about it, but not the excitement I would have for a new Batman movie or a new Justice League
Well, I
movie or
mean,
a new
yeah,
Wonder Woman movie.
they're
But
on a
I'm
whole
still,
other level.
yeah, of course. But like, I think it looks great. I'm excited for it. Yes, Black Adam. It's not like you've got me in the bag for a Black Adam movie, but everything that I've seen, this cast, this crew, the addition, the Justice Society goes a long way in also increasing my excitement for it. So I am excited for it. But I do understand what you're saying. I'm a better fan than you. So
Like if they were doing a Justice Society of America movie and Black Adam was the villain, awesome. But Black Adam's not what's going to get my bum on the seat.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I think that the new footage looks great. Honestly, I do think that even though this is shorter, I think that at least the action beats and the superpowers on display all look better than what we got in the full trailer.
Yeah, I can see that.
And apparently the movie is locked. Apparently they all watched it last week, is what
Yeah,
they said.
that was the night before.
Yeah.
From what I read, yeah, they only watched it the night before the panel.
So that's great. It's exciting. So yeah, I can't wait to see more. I hope that trailer 2 or final trailer or whatever it ends up being is going to get you a little more psyched for it, because I'm really looking forward to this. I think it'll be really great.
Look, I guess a good comparison, funnily enough, is Shazam in that, um, I mean, I always liked the character of Shazam, but it wasn't a character that I was crazy about, and I was never screaming for a Shazam movie. Um, and the year that trailer dropped was the same year as the first Aquaman trailer. And I was so psyched for all the Aquaman stuff, and then that first Shazam trailer dropped and blew me away, and it made me go from, yeah, I'll see it, to, oh man, this looks awesome. Like, I liked that better than the Aquaman stuff they showed that year, and I know I was in the minority there. But yeah, the Black Adam stuff just hasn't had that impact on me yet. But
All
I
right.
like you, I hope it does. I'm going to see it either way, so realistically, it doesn't matter. They've got my money.
All right. Cool. Well, Black Adam and Shazam. Just two movies, which is odd. Which is odd for Comic-Con Hall H to just have the two movies. But again, fandom isn't that far away.
No.
And so I do feel like The Flash question mark and Aquaman 2, they've got to save some big stuff for fandom. So I think I understand them parsing it out the way they have, and I don't even blame them, because before we know it, we're going to be watching fandom, and they at least save some stuff for that.
I mean, I guess these two movies come out first, so.
And exactly, these are the last, or the next two DC movies for this year. I mean, there's Super Pets next week, and then there's these two, and that's for 2022. So focus on these. Kind of like how fandom, like, the big focus was the Batman, because that was the next one coming out.
Yeah, very true.
Okay, I think that's everything I got. All the big DC stuff for San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nothing else that I'm aware of.
All right. Well, I mean, I like what I have seen. Still good news all around. I'm not as disappointed as a lot of the fans, because I also didn't get my hopes up like a lot of the fans.
I mean, look, I tweeted about it the other day. Like, I retweeted the deadline thing, and I was like, please God, let it be true. And I meant it, but I was like you in that I was very much on the fence. Look, I hoped it was true, but I wasn't convinced that it was.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, when I woke up this morning, it was more like, okay, did it happen? Oh shit, it didn't. Okay. So, I got over it pretty quickly. But yeah, there's no denying it. It's an issue.
Let's just say I would have been much more surprised if it did happen than it didn't.
Oh, yes, agreed. For sure.
All right. Well, there you go, San Diego Comic Con 2022. Me and Catherine are bummed we aren't there, but like, I'm also fine.
Had you guys done a San Diego together?
Never together.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't think with like
Yeah.
the timeline and COVID and everything else and being in China.
Yeah, never together. But she even said to me before I came up to talk to you, she goes, "Yeah, I'm sadder than I thought I was going to be that we're not there." And I don't think I'm quite that sad. I think she's sadder than I am. But there's always that little FOMO. Um,
Yeah,
but seeing what they did bring and seeing what did happen, I was like, yeah, it would have been cool, but also I'm okay.
yeah.
Last
Well,
night I slept in my nice warm bed with my wife and not on the ground in a sleeping bag, and I think that's a fair
just
trade-off.
be thankful you guys have had the experience of going.
Oh, exactly. And that's just it. It's like I did it. I
You've
was
been
in
there
that
for
line and
some big announcements. You've been
yeah,
in
I
the
was
room.
in that line in the middle of the night when Zack Snyder drove up in the Batmobile. That might be my favorite Comic-Con moment because it was amazing.
Lucky prick.
All right. Well, there we go. San Diego Comic Con 2022. And as we said, fandom will be here before we know it, and we'll have more stuff to talk about then. But we also got to check in with you folks. Let's check in with you fine feathered finks and crack open the Wayne Manor mailbox. It is time again for the Wayne Manor mailbox.
You've got mail.
Darren. What is a letter for me?
Maybe temporary.
She wrote a letter.
You're one hell of a messenger. Sizzle, Master Wayne.
All right. I didn't know if we would get to this week, so I'm actually kind of happy we are.
That's good. I'm assuming it would be close to overflowing.
It's pretty solid, so we'll try to answer quickly.
Let's do it.
All right. First message here is from Mohammed. It says, "Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. In regards to a recent episode, I'd like to inform you that the term Latinx is not preferred by the Hispanic community. This is based on my conversations with several friends and some articles. The term started with noble intentions, but ended up not making any significance. Moving forward, the idea of Aztec Batman has me intrigued, and as always, I would watch it in both sub and dub. However, I'd like to see the Aztec Batman story adapted for other cultures, like the Middle East or Indian. We did get Japan with Batman Ninja, so let's do other major cultures. I'd welcome it with open arms. Would you guys like to see it, and which cultures would you prefer?" Sorry for the long email. Peace. A deal. A deal. All right. Thanks for the message. Well, Jamie said Latinx. But yeah, I always say Latino, Latina.
And I don't think I was on that episode.
But yeah, like yeah. It's funny. I do feel like Latinx, like it didn't catch on, but every once in a while I'll see it. Yeah. So okay, thanks for the
I'll
clarification.
be perfectly honest. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's okay. Like for Latino people, people from Latin America who have that heritage, there is a term that was coined relatively recently of Latinx that was, I think, supposed to be more of a catch-all term.
Okay.
But it didn't really catch on, and I think they meant well, but so anyway.
It sounds like a style of music or something.
Yeah, Jamie brought it up when we were talking, I think, about Aztec Batman.
Yeah.
And I know Jamie meant no harm because, again, he probably saw it and go, "Oh, is this what we're supposed to say now?" And he was just trying to be respectful.
Terminologies are changing and being added.
It is.
So
it always
frequently.
changes, and
yeah,
and of course we try to do our best to be respectful. Anyway, so different cultures, like Batman versions of different cultures. So we had Batman Ninja. We're getting Aztec Batman. Is there any? Should we get Batman Australia? Instead of a Batmobile, it's like a Bat Hopper that hops like a kangaroo.
Look, I wouldn't be opposed to it. In serious,
I would watch it in all seriousness.
It's something I've never thought about because it's just like Batman's Batman. Like this is his story. This is how it happened. This is the character I love. Like I understand doing alternative versions. I don't. Something I don't really ever think about. I'm not screaming for it. Like in terms of the Aztec Batman, like I'll probably check it out, but I'm not going to go out of my way to see it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. We love Batman.
It's not made for me.
Well, yeah, and we love Batman because of Batman. We love Batman because of Batman and everything that entails. That includes Gotham City. That includes a Batcave. That includes the Batmobile. That includes Alfred. Like that includes Commissioner Gordon. Once you take Batman and make it a vigilante in Aztec times, like it's not Batman anymore. You know? So I'm fine with them, stretching the formula and trying these things out. That's fine. But is it really my thing? Not really. Because I love Batman and the world that we all fell in love with. Recently, I was on Twitter. I was talking to our pal Jay Yaws and Ryan Lauer. I was talking to both of them about Batman Inc. And I don't like Batman Inc. because that's kind of the idea, is that there are Batmen from all these other countries. And I don't dislike it because of the opening it up to other cultures. I'm always in support of that. It's just like, I just don't like the idea of a dozen other Batmen running around the world. It's more that.
That was a Grant Morrison thing too, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I think
enough said.
but if you want Batman of a lot of other cultures, but maybe Batman Inc. is for you. All right, next message is from Sean. Sean Gilmore. It says, "Hey, I was so excited when you answered my email last week. You shouted me out a couple weeks ago as Mr. Sean Gilmore, a new patron, and then you answered my email last week as Shaun of the Dead. But your world's greatest detective skills didn't put two and two together that they were the same person. I guess it was a harder riddle than Rada Alada." All jokes aside, if you never get around to doing an Arkham Games review, at least throw Brendan a bone and review episodes of The Batman. I'd love to hear your opinion on it, as it's an excellent Batman show. Also, Jamie, please don't strangle your son for his awesome taste in hair. At least he's not a Broncos fan. Oh, okay. Sean, I think it's adorable that you think I remember what I say from week to week. I have no idea what I say week to week. None. So
I will say, he sounds like a stand-up guy, and I agree very much with the second part of his email.
Okay, well, hope springs eternal. Deadline just ran a random thing saying that there's a rumor that we're going to review the Batman next. And their track record. So,
right?
I'm just saying, start holding your breath right now. All right. Oh, Harley, what's wrong, girl? Okay. Anyway. Next message from James Mullins. It says, "Hello all. Teen Titans Go has managed to quietly string together a trilogy of movies. When can we expect a review for Teen Titans Go see Space Jam versus Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans and the Multiverse of Mayhem? We need them. Hashtag Titty Moss, James Mullins." I need to watch them. I've been wanting to do Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans ever since it came out because it's great. I have not watched the Space Jam one, and I have not watched the Multiverse of Mayhem one, although I did purchase it, so it's just a matter of me finding the time. So
I've still only seen the first one.
On a quiet week, we will do it, James. So that's not a commitment, but it is. Just know that it is in the plan. Next message is from Charlie. Charles Messing. It says, "Hey, Andy, Jamie, or Brendan. I really, really enjoyed your interview with Carl Newman. It was fascinating and fun. I can't believe all the Batman 89 stuff that has been coming my way, including watching the movie, finding old trading cards, almost buying an unopened Toy Biz Batman Joker, and the immortal Bob the Goon. I think I should have gotten them all. All this nostalgia brought back some memories of that summer and just being in the middle of the pop culture phenomenon. Quick story, late that summer, I begged my mom to see the movie again. She did, wonderful lady. We stopped at the bookstore before the movie to get a book she wanted. I wasn't expecting to find anything, but I saw a really thick Batman book. Mom let me get it, wonderful lady. I didn't really thumb through it until the ride home. I came across a page of a massively tall woman with her boobs out with swastikas on them. Clearly, it was The Dark Knight Returns. I looked up at my slightly conservative Jewish mother to make sure she didn't see it. Whew,
Holy hell.
She didn't. She would have turned that car right around and raised hell. I took the book home and put it right under the bed as if it were a Playboy. Thank you for the show, Charlie." Wow. Oh, that's great. I love that story, Charlie. That's hilarious.
Conservative and Jewish, and that was the page that
Oh
you...
my God.
Man.
Yeah. You dodged a bullet, Charlie. And how could you not buy unopened Toy Biz Batman Joker and Bob the Goon?
Yeah, that's
go back to wherever that was and buy them. Worth every penny. And I'm glad you enjoyed the conversation with Carl. We certainly enjoyed it. It was really fun, and we appreciate that.
It was a great interview.
It was great. It was really fun. All right, next message is from Mark Bickford. It says, "Hey guys, going back to WB refusing to spend over 30 million or whatever on direct to HBO Max movies, I think it's a case where Jason Kilar was running HBO Max like a startup. Spend whatever you need to build up the business. Zaslav and John Malone aren't that guy. They're mature business executives who are going to parse everything by a harsh look at return on investment. And let's not forget that the first thing WBD had to do was borrow 43 million and give all of it to AT&T. Quite the millstone to have hanging around their heads. Question: do you think that WBD, Disney, Paramount are shortchanging themselves by restricting their own product to their own streaming services and therefore giving up potential outside revenue from selling shows to overseas operators in syndication? Regarding this week's question about non-Batman superhero shows, I was surprised no one mentioned Heroes. It was my personal favorite non-DC show. Question: what did you think of Heroes, and did you ever watch The Cape, a high-concept show NBC ran that was nearly on par with Batman 66 for audacity? Finally, I don't know if you looked at my social media, but in May, I had a chance to visit London and I got to go to the Batman restaurant, Park Row. I'd be happy to come on the show and talk about it, but if not, there are some non-spoilery observations of my visit. You come in off the street, you're in a small room with a bookcase, and someone's sitting on a leather couch with a tablet. They check you in, and a secret passage opens, and you can walk down the stairs to the restaurant proper as Batman-esque mood music plays around you. Once in the restaurant, which is on the whole very elegant, if it's not crowded, you can have your choice of several areas to sit in, one of which is the focal point of the room, the Iceberg Lounge, topped with an ice sculpture of a penguin. Most of the dishes on the regular menu come with a DC-related gimmick of some sort, such as an appetizer called the Rabbit from a Hat, which comes out with a top hat, and the server has a whole story about Zatanna that leads to a surprise trick at the end. I ordered a dessert called Riddle Me This, which included on it a riddle on a piece of tempered chocolate, and the server told me I had 30 seconds to solve it or she would take it away and I wouldn't get to eat it. The whole place feels theme park-ish. I didn't realize until I got to London that it is a production of Wonderland at Home, the same group that did the Mother Box lunch kits for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Both in the presentation and the cost per calorie ratio, but if you and your listeners are going to be in London and they've got cash to spend, I would recommend it. They do have a fancy dinner theater of sorts called the Monarch Theater, but that has very limited seating and costs somewhere around $200 US for a multi-course fixed menu. So I couldn't swing it in this trip, but if the place is still there and I get to go again, I'm going to try to make it. Have a great week. Next week, I'm going to try to pitch my idea for a Batman TV show. Mark. Thanks, Mark. So last thing first, I have definitely seen footage of the Batman restaurant in London online. I want to go. I don't know when I'll be in London again, but I would love to go. It looks really, really fun. I would say it feels like it's not as like over the top Batman as I would have expected. Like it almost feels like it's trying to be a little too classy, where I'm like, no, man, like just go for it. Just go full on
like
Batman.
full theater restaurant.
Yeah. So, but I would still go in a heartbeat. So thank you for some info on that. So questions, Heroes. And then, do you think streaming services are hurting themselves by not allowing their content to be sold elsewhere? What do you think, Brendan? I'll let you go first.
Heroes, I watched the first season and really liked it. Couldn't get into the second one and completely dropped off.
I'll just say same. I loved the first season, and then it fell off a cliff real bad after that for me, and that's probably why we didn't bring it up, is because I don't remember how long it was on, but first season was amazing, and then after that it was.
I even bought
I was not
big
a fan.
ass hardcover like graphic novel that came out for it and stuff. I really liked that first season.
Yeah, me too.
The streaming service thing. Look, it's hard because I get the whole reason why they have their streaming services so they don't have to do that. So people are forced to come and pay money to watch their product. Like I can't imagine, just for argument's sake, like Stranger Things, being able to watch that on Amazon or it being on free to air or something. Like it just, I can't picture that. I don't know what that would look like. It would feel so weird because it's so tied to that streaming service or that platform. So yeah, it's. Well, I think we discussed it on here recently, or might have been when we were talking about Stranger Things. Like, there's so many services now. It's to the point of saturation. Like,
Yeah.
it's almost well, it is ridiculous. Like these streamers were to sort of try and combat that to make viewing things cheaper. And I would sort of go the reverse, is that I don't know why companies don't just sell their stuff to streamers. Like I'm sorry, but I don't see the point of Paramount Plus. But like if Paramount want to make shows, like why don't they make them and sell them to an Amazon or a Disney Plus or something? Like Apple, like I don't see the point of that one. Like there's been nothing that's ever made me go, oh, geez, I need to get Apple Plus. Yeah, I'd be looking at the question I'd be asking is the reverse: is why don't these companies just make stuff and sell it to, say, 2 or 3 of the big streamers, so we can keep it to 2, 3, maybe 4, like Netflix, Amazon, HBO Max, and Disney Plus. Like that's all you need. Yeah, that's just my take on it.
No, I actually agree with you on that as well. Is that there are so many of them. We've reached the point of saturation. Some of them are going to start to suffer, and things will change. And I do think that Sony is the only studio who's smart enough to be like, you know what, we'll just sell our content to the other streaming services instead of trying to start our own and compete with them that way. My understanding is that Peacock isn't doing particularly well because they were so late to the party. Like you said, I do have Paramount Plus, but it's only for a couple things, and
Peacock
it would be
came out before Paramount Plus, didn't it?
I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I can't remember. But like it would be the first one to go. So yeah, I think that will change because I just don't think the market can support every single streaming service.
We don't have Peacock here in Australia. There's no, like, in terms of HBO Max, like I've talked about it before, we've got Binge, which is kind of, it's very comparable. We have Paramount Plus, we have Apple Plus, we don't have Peacock, and there's no, like Hulu, for example, we get all their stuff on Disney Plus, but there's nothing for Peacock.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, point is yeah, like, do I think some of them are hurting themselves by not just selling their content to other streamers? Yes. Do I think that'll change? Also, yes, because again, I don't think that they all can survive. All right, next message is from Tyler Closter. It says, hey guys, I wanted to chime in on your talk about the Batman Gordon scene at the end of The Dark Knight Rises on the latest episode. I agree with Andy that the scene's intent was better than the execution, but I actually think Batman's line of dialogue would work perfectly fine if he had just used his normal voice. I mean, why not? If there's one time in the whole Dark Knight trilogy, Bale could have just used his normal Bruce Wayne voice when wearing the cowl. It was right there in that time and place where he was basically telling Gordon who he was without outright saying it. Maybe Nolan did try it that way and it just didn't work. I don't know. But without evidence, I still believe it could have. Cheers, Tyler. All right.
I have thoughts.
Oh, okay, great.
This is the first time I've heard the argument for the non-Batman voice in that scene. Obviously the main one's the whole when Catwoman disappears, that's what that feels like, that one.
Yeah.
I've never fallen on the side of like, you should have just used a normal voice. There was no one else there. It's like, no, because he is Batman. Bruce Wayne is the facade. He is Batman. Particularly when he's in that cowl, that's who he is, I think the problem with Dark Knight Rises is more the fact that the voice was just so, I don't want to say ridiculous, but he pushed it to such an extreme that it did sound stupid at some points. Like the where is the trigger and stuff like that whole scene it's the voice is laughable.
It's too much
in a lot of scenes in that movie. So I think that's the bigger issue, as opposed to him talking his Batman voice, because no, like when he's Batman, he's Batman. He doesn't talk like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Um, I mean, again, my issue isn't really the voice. I just think it's because of the urgency of that scene, the way the line is so wordy and he has to get it all out and he's trying to get it out fast in the Batman voice. It just to me reads awkwardly. So I feel like there either needed to be a more succinct way to say the same thing, or it should have happened at a different moment in the film. That's where I'm at,
Yeah.
which we will talk about because we are planning on doing a 10th anniversary commentary. It's just a matter of scheduling, like everything else.
Because it was the 10th anniversary this week. We probably should.
Yeah, it was just this past week.
Yeah.
Next message from Hugh Morris. It says, "What's up, Holy BatCast? Have you guys heard of the Hero DC Unlock the Multiverse Hybrid NFT trading cards? It's a trading card, and you can scan a code and get the NFT version. Pretty sweet cards. I still don't know what an NFT is, but the physical cards are very cool. P.S. You know you love a podcast when you can listen to the host talk about cereal and pumpkin stuff for 20 minutes. LOL. Keep up the awesome work." Thanks, Hugh. So I have not heard of this. No. The DC Unlock the Multiverse NFT trading cards. Nope, haven't heard it, haven't seen them, so no, I'm kind of in the dark on that one.
Talking about what Christian Bale says at the end of Dark Knight Rises is a mouthful. That bloody title's a mouthful.
Yeah, right?
Look, I don't get the NFT thing. The only thing that NFT related that I've ever dipped my toe into was for Fandom last year, where you could get the NFT things that they were like a holographic something or other, like a 3D animated thing. Like I don't know, it looked like a disc or like. I ended up getting like, because I did it a couple of times. I ended up getting Superman and Batman, and I'm like, so am I the only person that has this Superman and Batman? Like, I don't understand. It's a world that I don't know about, and I really don't care to know about.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Well, moving forward, next message is from Dave Chambers. It says, "Hey, Holy BatCast. First, how cool that you guys interviewed Carl Newman. I loved that episode. I even reached out to Mr. Newman and have an autograph on the way. He was truly a nice gentleman to message with on Instagram, and any day you get to talk to a Batman actor is a good day. On to the question, you guys might have answered this. What is your favorite Batman moment in each of the live action Batman movies?" This could be an entire episode, but the question hit me when I was going back to listen to your The Batman review. I believe it was Jamie or Brendan that said the opening monologue Bat Signal moment was better than the one in The Dark Knight. As always, thank you for keeping the Bat Signal lit, Dave Chambers. Thanks, Dave. And yeah, Carl was a lovely guy. If you guys out there are listening, if you want an autograph from Carl, go find him on Instagram or on Twitter, BalletBat1989. He's wonderful, and check that out. As for the question, I did send this to Brendan and Jamie, and I said, let's just do this as an episode sometime soon.
Minimal homework.
Minimal homework, and I think a fun conversation. So
yeah.
I think that is going to be the plan, is we're just going to put that in our back pocket and do that as an episode. So we appreciate the episode idea, Dave.
I will just say quickly on the subject of Carl autographs, little back of house talk. Thanks to Andy, Jamie and I now both own a signed Carl photo. Mine arrived 2 days ago, and gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I know you and I both got the climactic shot from the end of Batman 89. Which one did you get, Jamie, or did you just get three of the same?
Three of the same. I just kept it simple.
I mean, it's such an
it's so
iconic
good,
shot.
right? Yeah, you know. And I even had a little bit of like, oh, do I want this one or do I want the promo shot? And I was like, but this image belongs on my wall anyway, so it might as well be signed by the guy who it was.
Yep. No, good call. And
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. All right, next message from Tom Fallows. It says, "Hey guys, I really enjoyed your crossover with The Fire Rises and your top 25 animated films. I gotta say, I hemmed and hawed about choosing my number one, but it had to be Mask of the Phantasm, mainly because I remember crying at the end with Bruce and the locket, and I still tear up. Under the Red Hood is an amazing film, and that final scene is also heartbreaking, but Phantasm was my first realization that my hero wasn't going to get a happy ending. I was just wondering, after Jamie mentioning his Mount Rushmore of Batman moments, I was wondering that would ever be a top 10. Oh, okay. If that would ever be a top 10. That would be a cool episode because there are so many moments for Batman to count. Thanks for the great podcast, Tom Fallows. P.S. I loved your episode with Carl Newman. I had a smile on my face when he called the podcast a program because that's what we call shows in the UK. And with all the ribbing you guys giving Brendan about the Batman being the next rewatch, all I can think is it ending up like the Itchy and Scratchy episode of The Simpsons with you all being 80 and finally letting Brendan rewatch it.
Hey, I can rewatch it whenever I want. I just would love to, bring the show to more people who haven't seen it because it deserves to be watched.
All right. Thanks, Tom. So, gosh, it sounds kind of similar to the last one of like another episode idea of a Mount Rushmore of Batman moments.
Well, I mean,
top 10.
Kind of, yeah.
Similar. The other one is like one moment from each movie. This would just be top 10 Batman moments.
But then how many movies are there at this point? I mean, we'd be doing more than 10 anyway, wouldn't we?
We would be doing 12. But again, like two, if we did just a top 10, like you could have 2 Batman moments from, say, Batman Begins and none from Batman and Robin.
I agree. But it'd be interesting to do like the favorite from each one and then rank them. It's kind of doing the best, like the 2.
All right.
One episode. But yeah, I do agree that that's interesting.
All
I'm
right.
up for the challenge.
Okay. James Mullins wrote in again. He said, barring any sort of Real Fans episode, what are your thoughts on the Halloween Ends trailer? Real quick, I really dug it. I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to it.
I
Brendan?
agree. Yeah, you and I messaged about it briefly the other day. I think you liked Halloween Kills more than I did. But I still really rate that 2018 Halloween. I really like that movie. So yeah, I'm down for it. I'm keen to see how the new trilogy wraps up. Bring it on.
Well, so here's the thing. It's funny. We were talking to our pal Tim Rooney about it. He goes, he's like, I'm just not as hot on the new ones as you guys. And here's the thing is like, I don't love the new ones, but I like them well enough and I just accept them and I want to see how it ends.
Yeah. And look,
it's like, I'm not over the moon on either of them, but like at this point, God,
sequels.
We've had so many ups and downs in the sequels. I'm just kind of like, yeah, they're fine. They're pretty good. So I want to see what the third one brings. All right, next message is from Rhodey. It says, hope you're doing well. Do you remember there was a brief period of time? Oh man, there was a brief period of time where the Flash movie was actually happening and there wasn't any controversy? That was nice. I just wanted to take a moment to pause and reflect on that. That's all. Thanks. Thanks, Rhodey. I appreciate that too. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice for a minute, but yeah. You know what? Being a DC fan, it's pain.
Right.
It's our life. All right, we got 2 more. We're going to do this. Next one's from Jacob Norris. It says, hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I had a couple questions. First, have any of you checked out the Jurassic League comic line? If not, you should look into it. It's about as bizarre as you'd expect, a new spin on the Justice League and some of their rogues and making them all dinosaurs.
Oh, I do remember that. I haven't looked at it, but yeah, I forgot that existed.
So I saw images, but I didn't realize it was a real series. I thought it was more like, oh, look at this fun art of dinosaurs, Justice League.
Oh, I knew it was coming. I'd completely forgotten about it.
So the answer is no, I've not read it, and it sounds like Brandon hasn't either. It says, lastly, have you heard any of the DC versus Vampire comics? Or have you read any of the DC versus Vampire comics? It's hard for me to keep up as it seems there are various one-shots and a couple limited series, but I thought it sounded like something you'd like. It could be an interesting topic for a Halloween episode. After all, it's never too early to start celebrating spooky season. Bring on the pumpkin spice. Keep being the awesome guys that you are, and I'll always keep listening. Your Bat Brother, Jacob Norris. P.S. I'm getting married this fall. Any advice, fellas? Thanks in advance. Sorry for the long email. Thanks, Jacob. So, no, I haven't kept up with either of those series, but I appreciate the recommendations. Always good to add it to the to-do list. And you're right, it's never too early for Halloween. Like I said earlier, I think I said it earlier. We literally were perusing Halloween decor today. Advice on getting married, Brendan?
Just make sure you're marrying the right person, I guess.
Ain't
If
that the truth?
yeah, it's not why I said it, but yes, it does apply. If you do, you'll have nothing to worry about. Like I was lucky enough to meet and marry my soulmate and my best friend, and I haven't never had any issues. Like that's what you want.
Yeah, I mean, I think just having having had a bad one and now a really great one, um, like just remember you're on the same team. And I think that sometimes couples forget that. You're
Yeah,
supposed to be on the same team. Like you're in this together. Um and yeah, I just hope that, first of all, congratulations, and I just hope that your soon to be spouse is someone who is, supportive and accepts and loves you for who you are, and vice versa. Like that's the best thing you can ask for, and then it's easy.
mm,
If you're on the same team and you guys both support each other, then yeah, then you just tackle things together, and it's great to be in it with someone.
for sure. And just let some things go. Like that you're bound to give each other the shits at some point in time, and just sometimes just grit your teeth and let it go. And look, and I'm not saying that to be funny or to be a smartass.
No,
Like,
no, I
yeah,
understand. Jess looks like a fucking nightmare, and I don't know how you do it.
that's not what I'm saying either. But
I
you
mean,
know,
no, I mean, dude, if you need help, just message me.
but she would say the same thing as well. And anyone in a long term relationship would like. You're gonna get on each other's nerves. That's just par for the course of being with someone so often. But you know, it if you're in the right relationship, it won't matter. Those moments will be very few and far between, and will be over with pretty quickly too.
Well, okay, one last piece of advice, just because I mean, maybe not everyone needs this, but it's so important to do things together, to have shared interests. It's just as important to be okay to have
Yes.
time away.
Yes. Yep.
That's okay. And you're better for it.
That's where we come into each other's lives.
Exactly. You got to have a little side piece, koala. All right. One last email from Tony Hull. It says, "Hey, Andy, Jamie, Brendan. It's been a while since I've written, but I've been listening regularly, I promise. I just finished your crossover with The Fire Rises. Great job. It looked like a lot of time and effort to coordinate. My own top five was pretty much in line with yours. You pretty much said all that can be said about them, but I wanted to add something about the scores. Mask of the Phantasm, Under the Red Hood, and The Dark Knight Returns all have fantastic scores, which make them even more memorable. Christopher Drake's The Dark Knight Returns specifically took it to another level. My question is also score related. I find it odd that there hasn't been a composer announced for Black Adam. We're less than 3 months from release. Meanwhile, Shazam 2, Aquaman 2, Batgirl, and The Flash all have assigned composers despite being 2023 releases. I realize that most people probably don't care, but for me, music is something that can sway my overall opinion of a movie a full letter grade. So, who would be your choice to do the score for Black Adam? I was hoping for Benjamin Wallfish to keep continuity with the Shazam score, but now he's not even doing Shazam 2. Lauren Balfe and John Powell are my other picks. Sorry, not sorry for the long email, Tony. Thanks, Tony. Well, now I didn't realize Benjamin Wallfish wasn't coming back for Shazam 2, so now I got to look and see who is. But what's crazy is I did see this email. I read it in advance, and I went, that can't be right. We've got to know who the composer is. Nope, you're right. We don't. I looked on IMDb for Black Adam, and you're right. There is no information on who is doing the score. I do think that's odd. That's super weird, but I also have faith it'll be someone good. Okay, so Christoph Beck, who is very good, who's a very good composer, he's doing Shazam too. Interesting.
I still don't know composers, so
Yeah, well, you're
aside
worthless.
from the big names,
The
like,
biggies, right?
yeah.
I mean, I do like the idea of the continuity with Shazam and Black Adam, but to me, that's not like an absolute must-have. John Powell, I think, is a great choice. That could be really cool. So, Black Adam. I don't know. I feel like for Black Adam, I want a score that's a little darker and more mysterious. I feel like educated guess. I want to say James Newton Howard did Jungle Cruise with The Rock and the director. And if that's the case, I could see maybe that carries over. I'm confirming that because I'm going just by my memory, which is always tricky. But I swear that was what I remembered. Yep, James Newton Howard did Jungle Cruise. I'd be okay with that. I think James Newton Howard is a terrific composer, and I really liked his Jungle Cruise score, and obviously his work on the Dark Knight trilogy. I think that could be cool. You know who we haven't heard from in a while, but who I love is Harry Gregson Williams. His brother, Rupert, has done a couple of DC films. I'd want to see Harry do Black Adam. I think he'd be great. So that's, I'm off the top of my head. I'm going with James Newton Howard or Harry Gregson Williams. How about that?
I'll co-sign that.
Okay, great. And agreed. All right, we cleaned out the mailbox, Brendan. High five from across the across the world. Yes. Great job. Well done.
That was my
great. But thank you guys for writing in. Thank you for your patience while we got to them. And originally we were gonna do the Dark Knight Rises commentary this week. And then we're like, oh no. And then the mailbox is just going to sit there another week. So this worked out. It was great that we did Comic-Con first.
It was also like, I was like, hang on, isn't it Comic-Con? You're like, oh also, shit, it is too.
Yeah, it's Comic-Con week. I guess we're doing that. So this worked out because now the mailbox is clean. We got to talk about Comic-Con. And then next time, again, if all goes well, if we can work out the schedules, which is always, because I don't want to do Dark Knight Rises without Jamie.
No, it's got to be the three of us.
Yeah, it's got to be the three of us. So hopefully we can make that work for next week. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how it goes, but that'll do it. Well done, Brendan. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for making the time.
Of course. I just keep Sunday mornings free now.
I mean, and I'm keeping Saturday nights free. Saturday night, which is like prime social time. I've been keeping it free.
But you've got a baby.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. We take her out.
I say you still do quite a lot of stuff.
We do. We
went to Hanson last week.
Yeah, we did. It was awesome. We sure did. We got a babysitter.
When I saw Catherine's stuff on Instagram, I'm like, he didn't tell me he was going to see Hanson.
Yeah, went and saw Hanson, and it was a 2-hour drive to get there, but it was worth
shit!
It.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a ways, but yeah, I mean, we didn't want to be those people who become shut-ins just because we have a kid.
Well, no, I mean, we're not shut-ins, but it does make things trickier.
It does. I mean, yes, it's more work. You have to try harder and be more prepared. But at the same time, you can do it. I mean, we went out and ran errands all day, and she was with us, and she was a champ.
Oh yeah, we do that sort of stuff all the time.
But yeah, we like to see people. We like to do things. We like to go to the theme parks, and she better get used to it.
She's got no choice.
She got no choice. Anyway, Brendan, tell our friends where they can find you if they want.
You can find me on Twitter at Loey007 and around in the Real Fans groups on Facebook.
Great. I already told you where to find me. Thank you, though, for joining us. Thanks for listening, downloading the show, streaming the show, I guess. I don't know if we don't always have to download anymore, but thanks for joining regardless. Please do subscribe or follow the show wherever you do get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. If you love the show and you want to support us in a way that is simple and free, all you have to do is leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. We'd appreciate that. We got a couple nasty ones when the Batman came out, so I want to balance those out. So yeah, please do if you want to do that. Visit holybatcast.com. Find Holy BatCast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. If you've got something for the Wayne Manor mailbox, you can send that to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. As always, a big thank you to Gaurav Venkateswar. He created our theme music. He's super nice. He's very talented. His work can be found at gvtunes.com. And don't forget, if you're going to do a little online shopping this week when you're trying to avoid work or your family or whatever, go to manscaped.com. Do a little browsing. And if you find something that you like and you're going to make that purchase, please use that promo code BATSCAPED for 20% off and for free shipping. But that'll do it. Thanks for joining us. On behalf of Brendan, I've been Andy. We'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Holy BatCast is not affiliated with Warner Brothers or DC Entertainment. The views and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for.
The world needed a hero. Instead, it got me.
Well, please don't make this the stinger. And when I say this, you probably will. But I'm going to go because I really need to go to the toilet. So I
Yeah,
can see you're still recording. So
it's
I
still
know
recording.
this will be the stinger. So
Sorry about it. I mean, you had a chance to say anything in that moment. You went with, "I've got to go to the toilet."
But
So what else will I use?
I
What,
do really have to go. So I'm going to say goodbye.
Okay. Go do your business. Have a great night.
Catch you later.
Love you. Miss you. Bye.